Restaurant owners in Berlin have left hundreds of chairs at the Brandenburg Gate to highlight how many have been left empty by the coronavirus lockdown. They want the government to rescue them.
Berlin lives on tourism. We need rescue mechanisms, we need help. Otherwise the coronavirus will kill the restaurant business.
Tourism is just as critical for many other European economies. Last year, more than 720 million international tourists visited the EU. They generated business worth billions of dollars. With many businesses associated with the industry now in trouble, EU tourism ministers are planning a $407 billion bailout. The French and Dutch governments have already announced a $10.8 billion lifeline for Air France-KLM, and other European flag carriers including Alitalia and Lufthansa are also seeking government support. Under the plan, $277 billion would be given to EU member states to support these and other businesses. And another $130 billion would be provided to entrepreneurs to help fund startups in travel and tourism. Officials say an unemployment crisis may be brewing, especially in Italy, Greece and Spain, unless visitors start coming back soon.
Losses of 10 million jobs in Europe may be at stake if the situation continues in the coming months.
But opening up businesses and borders too early may be even more costly.
Nothing could be worse than reopening in a hurry and then having to close again. It could be a huge disappointment. We prefer to give ourselves time to reopen in the best possible sanitary conditions.
Tourism ministers across the bloc seem to agree that hundreds of billions of dollars are needed to bail out travel and tour businesses. But experts say they have another crucial job: working together to lift lockdown restrictions and ensure the safety of workers and visitors to get the industry going again. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Well, for more on this, Jennifer Iduh joins us now from Brussels. She's Head of Research and Development at the European Travel Commission. Welcome to Money Talks, Jennifer. Now, we know that summer is upon the Northern Hemisphere, summer being the peak tourism season for Europe. Can you just firstly tell us how crucial is the tourism industry for the EU and for the continent as a whole?
If we look at the wider tourism ecosystem, we're talking about a sector that's the third largest one in the EU economy. So only in 2019, it generated around 9.5% of the EU GDP, which is some 22.6 million jobs. And that's also 11.2% of the EU total employment. So it definitely is a very important sector for the EU. At the moment, due to the pandemic, we're expecting around 75 million of tourism jobs that are in jeopardy. And definitely the economic fallout will be unprecedented.
Incredible. Now, we know that EU tourism ministers have held a video conference on Monday talking about this very issue, the impact of the pandemic on the sector. Now, they've said that they want the EU to make tourism a top priority of the bloc's coronavirus recovery plan. What measures would you like to see announced as part of that plan?
Yes, that's correct. So to stimulate the financial activity, the European Union has already implemented a response package. Most of the things we would like to see, we're already seeing it. There is a global concern at the moment. It needs global support. And we need to see how tourism businesses, from small businesses, small and medium enterprises to the bigger ones, are being protected. Also the workers. So there needs to be an economic aid for the travel sector, especially focused on SMEs, to be able to overcome the cash flow difficulties. Would also like to see how some funds are allocated to protect employees, and especially those jobs that are at risk. And we should definitely not forget about investing more in research and marketing and tourism promotion, so destinations can be able to kick off again as soon as the situation gets better and travelers are welcome again in different destinations.
We also know that airlines are a crucial part of the tourism industry in Europe. How important is it that these major carriers, Lufthansa, Air France, KLM and British Airways, how important is it that they stay afloat as well?
It's important the same way it's important to safeguard other sectors in the industry, for example, the accommodation sector, the cruise sector. So all sectors within the tourism value chain are important. The airline industry will definitely be one of the hardest hit sectors because of the pandemic. So far, we've seen how daily flights in Europe are down by 90% in March compared to where they were earlier this year. We've also seen how airlines have significantly reduced their capacity and are facing liquidity crisis. And definitely support in the financial support, fiscal relief will be key for the survival of the airline industry.
It sure will. Okay, Jennifer Iduh from the European Travel Commission in Brussels, thanks so much for sharing with us your insights.